It's me checking in. I just have one thing to say. Fuck this virus. Welcome to my YouTube channel if you are new here. If not, welcome back, my friends. So most of you are probably new here because this is a new YouTube channel, and prior to this video, I really only had highlight film on this channel. So if you're new here, welcome. Today I'm going to be talking about my coronavirus experience. I've been thinking about making this video for a couple days now, and I was just kind of like sitting on it and not really taking initiative to make it until last night when I saw a post online from one of my friends, and it just like kind of sent me over the edge and made me realize that this video needs to be made, and as many of these videos need to be made as possible, because there needs to be more information from normal people like me out there about this virus, because people are getting information from a lot of different places, whether it's from the media or from our government or from like word of mouth from a friend, or maybe their own research that they're doing. But for me, it's hard to really believe anything without like a properly randomized study. So I have a really hard time reading anything and then just believing it, because I don't know where that information is coming from. The way I look at it is that we don't have a lot of science surrounding the coronavirus situation at the moment. We have some, but we don't have enough to cover everything. I think that this video, made from a completely normal person like myself, and just like giving my complete, honest, and full experience in detail, is important, and I think can help a lot of people kind of understand the virus as a whole better, instead of just listening to what they hear on the media. My hopes are to add to your knowledge that you have already about the virus, and just give you the perspective from someone who has gone through it and seemingly come out the other side. But this is my whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help me God. And I went through it, and so I'm just explaining what happened to me so that people who are skeptical of the media and stuff, like, don't have to be listening to that and reading that, because I mean, yeah, like, you can get good statistics and stuff, but if you just want to put your mind at ease with what maybe the truth is from a healthy young individual, then stay tuned. The post that my friend, who I consider of sound mind and I consider intelligent, posted this, and I'm going to read it word for word for you guys. I'm literally still upset. Like, it still makes me mad. Okay, so this is the main reason I'm making this video, because I feel that even intelligent people and reasonable people are very, very misinformed about what this virus can do to a person, okay? Let me just read this. Not sure who needs to hear this, but you have an immune system, and if you managed your weight, avoided processed foods, didn't drink alcohol, exercise regularly, get proper sleep, get daily sunlight, consume no sugar, and actually give a damn about your health, then your immune system and body will do its job, and you won't have to be afraid of a virus or any disease. It's a crazy concept called being healthy. Trust me, it's a much better option than living in fear and wearing a face diaper 24/7. So, the reason this makes me so upset is because that post is it's not insinuating, it's saying, if you take care of yourself, you don't have to be worried about the virus. And don't even get me started on the face diaper comment, okay? The problem I have with this is I am 27 years old, young. I'm a professional athlete for a living, healthy, and I take care of myself probably better than 99% of Americans. Like, I have to be fit and in shape and healthy for my job. So I am. Now, I got this virus, and saying this virus sucks is like the biggest understatement. There were moments where I literally didn't know if I was going to make it. Like, I was in tears. I couldn't get out of bed. I couldn't move. I'm 3 weeks out and I'm still having symptoms. So, to anybody and everybody who either A, doesn't believe this is a real virus, or thinks that if you're healthy, it's not going to affect you at all, I would like to be poster child for healthy people who are getting this virus and having a really rough time with it. Now, I will say I probably had a minor, like, to normal experience with this virus. By no means was mine severe. I didn't go to the ER, even though I was advised to by a doctor, but we'll get into that. So basically, that's what prompted me to make this video and why I'm making this, and let's get to it. Should we or shall we? So today is Sunday, July 26th. It is exactly 3 weeks since my very first symptom. I have got a lot of messages on social media, just like with questions, also with a lot of wishes to get well soon and that kind of thing, so thank you for that. But in this video, I'm going to kind of try to gather all those questions and then answer them within my story. I'm basically going to go through like 8 topics, and I'll put the timestamps below. I'm going to cover how I contracted the virus, how and where I got tested, a timeline of my symptoms, what I did and what you can do to try to avoid going to the hospital, my road to recovery and what to expect, what I did to stay busy and not lose my actual mind in this tiny apartment for 3 weeks now, and then other fun tips that I learned along this journey. And at the end, I will talk a little bit about what we're calling long haulers, which are people who are having symptoms well after they have, in theory, beat the virus. So that's what I'm going to cover. With the symptoms, I mean, it's 30 days of symptoms, so it's a lot to cover, and I don't want to talk for 40 minutes or have you watch a 40-minute video. So I am going to try to go through it fast. But I do think it is very important to give you a complete list of my symptoms, because test results are taking a very long time to get back to people, and even longer within the last 10 days since the rise in cases in the South. And for instance, I called the doctor that I got tested at, and they told me to not even bother getting retested because they have a shortage of tests and it's jam-packed, and they're saving it for people who aren't sure if they even have it. So there's a shortage. It's taking up to like 2 weeks to get results back if you're doing the free test, and like 10 days if you're paying. So that's a really long time. And if you are showing any of these symptoms, you need to self-isolate immediately. So you can't just think to yourself, oh, well, I'll just go about my normal life until I get my results back, and then if I get my results back and I'm positive, then I'll isolate, because it's too late. We are most contagious in the first 4 days, or three to 5 days of symptoms. And so if you're showing even the slightest symptom and you just think, well, when I get my result back, I'll self-isolate, I recommend that if you feel anything at all, like even a headache that persists a little bit and you typically don't get headaches, or a sore throat and you don't have allergies, or a runny nose and you don't have allergies, anything, self-isolate for 4 days. At least then, if you have the virus, you were isolating during the most contagious time. And if you don't have the virus, then you'll just be fine. You isolated for 4 days. You didn't see your friends for 4 days. That's not that big of a deal. So please, if you feel any symptoms at all, get tested if you can. If you cannot, if you feel any symptoms, self-isolate for 12 days at least. Like I said, I'm on day 30 of isolation, and I'm not in self-isolation because I am with my boyfriend, but we'll get into that. Okay. And I also want to tell you that I have 3 symptoms that I am going to mention, and then I'm not going to mention them again because I had them every single day and I still have them until today. So just assume that I had them every single day. So those 3 symptoms are black, kind of fuzzy spots in my eyes when I blink and then open, or kind of like look another way. If I just stare straight, I don't have them, but I still to this day have them, and I got them on day 1. The second is hard to explain a little bit, but I'm just going to tell you the name of it and I'll explain it later. It's like a vibrating body, okay? Leave it at that. And the third is clogged ears. So my ears are like clogged. I don't really feel congested because that would give a good explanation for clogged ears, but literally just there, I like unclogged my ears. And then right when I swallow, they're clogged again. And then I unclogged, clogged. So I basically have clogged ears all the time, and I will go a long while without unclogging them, and then I'll unclog them, and I'll realize that I was living underwater for the last 5 hours. So those 3 symptoms have been with me since they started. They are still here. They're the only symptoms I still have at the moment. How I contracted the virus. My story of how I contracted the virus is pretty simple. I got it from my boyfriend. End of story. Okay? Pretty simple. So, let me tell you a little bit about how he got it. So, let's go back to Thursday, July 2nd. I'm at work. Kate, my boyfriend, is at work. I get a text asking how I'm feeling. I said, I'm fine. He said, I've been feeling pretty bad all day, kind of hot and cold and a headache, but I don't think it's anything serious, just don't feel great. This was a problem because later that afternoon we were leaving for Wyoming for 4th of July weekend to go see his family and see Wyoming. And so basically the whole day just like went by, and I didn't think much of it because I was busy, and I didn't really even remember that he said that. I'm a bad girlfriend. But I get home, and he gets home shortly after me, and he does not look good. He's like a little bit pale, like glistening sweaty, but like dry sweaty is like weird. And the thing about my boyfriend is that he never will tell you if he doesn't feel good. Like if something's hurt, if he doesn't feel good, if he like anything like that, he's never really honest. I had to be kind of like wary with that because I didn't know if he was like talking his feelings and his sickness down. So I erred on the side of caution, and I just assumed that he was worse off than he was letting on. So we decided to be careful because we were going to see his family, and we decided not to go. So I felt completely fine. Out of caution, I slept on the couch. And the next morning I had to wake up around 3 to drive my little sister to the airport for her 4th of July fun. And I didn't feel great when I woke up, but it was also 3 a.m. So I figured that's why I don't feel great. So didn't think anything of it. Went all day Thursday feeling fine. And my boyfriend wasn't feeling great. Then, later that day, I found out my roommate, our other roommate, was sick and had gone and got tested for coronavirus the day before, but I just hadn't seen him in those days because he was in his room sick. Like, we didn't even know. So, my boyfriend got it from my roommate got it from work, everyone at his work had it, then they had a birthday party at the office. He got it, he got it, my boyfriend got it, and then I got it. So at this point I had to make a decision. Do I go to my parents' house and potentially I have it and I self-quarantine there in the basement and we close the vents? Or do I just stay here with the sickies and get it and make sure I have it or whatever and then tough it out? So that's what I decided to do because I couldn't even imagine giving it to my Hello? Okay. Giving it to a family member. So I decided to stay and tough it out. So Friday comes along and I feel fine all day. I'm kind of convinced at this point that I'm not going to get it and that I just got lucky, or I have it and I'm asymptomatic. And so that's kind of my belief system at this point. Then Friday night, after I got done washing my face, I noticed that I was a bit wheezy, but Cade? Hello? I feel like someone's in my house. Okay. I noticed after I washed my face, I was like a bit wheezy in my breath. I felt like I could get a full breath, but there was like some wheeze in my throat. But I didn't think anything of this because I had gone on like a really intense run that day, and I have asthma, and I recently moved back to Colorado, and there's really high altitude here. So those three things combined, literally all I thought was that I was having a little bit of wheeze from my asthma. Normal for me. So I went to bed that night with Cade, pretty much just assuming that I was going to get it or I had it. I was able to sleep fine, and I just had a wheeze. It wasn't really a problem. I felt fine. Then Saturday came, and I felt pretty fine again. In hindsight, I did have some symptoms this day, but at the moment, I didn't really realize. I woke up with a stiff neck and like shoulders and like achy, but I had lifted the day before for the first time in months, so I just assumed that I was sore. And then I also started to have those black fuzzy spots in my eyes, but I get migraines a lot, so I thought it was just like a weird migraine I had never had. And my boyfriend was feeling really bad. I was still feeling pretty fine. Convinced, like seriously convinced I wasn't going to have symptoms. Then Sunday. So Sunday is the day I start my symptoms. Sunday, July 5th is day 1 of symptoms for me. So some of my first symptoms were that vibrating body feeling when I woke up. The best way I know how to explain this, and the only way I know how to explain this, is when you're severely hungover and you wake up and your body like vibrates. Like it feels like it vibrates from the inside out. I don't know if it's like a dehydration thing or what it is. I'm sure there's some reason for it, but that's the only other time I've felt this, and I have felt it every single day since Sunday the 5th. The 5th, yeah. So I started getting super dizzy every time I stood up. Like if I were to stand up out of this chair, fully breathing, fully fine, I would just get lightheaded and dizzy. And every single time I stood up. I started to get lots more of those black spots in my eyes. I had an occasional wheeze. No problem breathing, just a wheeze. Like it sounded like I was blowing a harmonica every time I'd like breathe in, kind of. And then from here on out, I will not mention this again, but the black fuzzy spots and the clogged ears were there. Oh, and the vibrating body, okay? So I'm not going to mention this again. That's the day all of those started. Moving on. So at this point, I'm feeling okay, right? I'm pretty sure I have a virus because all of these things combined are a little bit suspicious, right? But I'm also not convinced because I'm a psychopath and I'm convinced that I'm immune to all bad things. So what I did for the next 2 to 3 days, I would not recommend. So I was in denial. So day 1, day 2, and day 3, until I got tested, and the day I got tested, we'll talk about, I was in complete denial that I was sick, and I was basically taking care of everybody. I was like making everybody food, and I was like not really taking care of myself because I was convinced I didn't have anything, and I was basically just in denial. So I would highly recommend you don't do that. And if you feel any symptoms at all, start like caring for yourself and start drinking lots of water and doing all the things that I will say to do in a little bit. So day 2, same 3 symptoms. I start to get a small headache this day. I get more enhanced neck, shoulders, and back aches, and I get ringing in my ears. Monday the 6th, Cade, my boyfriend, got his results back positive for coronavirus, okay? So at this point, I'm having these small symptoms, and I know I have it. But I have to go get tested for work to basically prove to them that I have it and that I can work from home. So, Tuesday, day 3. Day 3 is fun. Day 3, I wake up with a much worse headache, but not anything like I am going to experience in the next couple of days after this. So I wake up with a little bit of a worse headache. I have a sore throat. I'm still dizzy. That dry cough that you just heard, that's not really that bad right now, starts. And then I have a scheduled appointment to go get tested at 12. And so prior to that, I didn't feel that bad, and I will insert clips here. Come on in. Okay, so we are en route, or about to be en route, to get tested for COVID-19. My roommate and my boyfriend both tested positive, so I'm gonna go get tested so that my work knows that I'm not lying, and so that I just know for sure that I shouldn't be going out and stuff. My symptoms are like a headache, severe headache, just constant all the time. A little bit like dizzy, like when I move like fast, like I kind of feel drunk, like things like catch up to me instead of just being like clear and focused. Let's see. And I also just have like aches like from like my neck all the way down my shoulders and back. I have like an occasional cough, like a really dry occasional cough. I'll get tested. So I'm going to UC Health here in Colorado in Highlands Ranch. That's the closest one to me. They give you results in 24 to 48 hours. I think it costs like $85 because I don't have insurance, but I think it's better than waiting like 1 to 2 weeks for a result from a free test. So I'm gonna go do this one, and I'll try to videotape it. I don't know if they're gonna allow me or if I'm gonna have to like be sneaky, but I want to show you like how they do it and stuff. So I'm gonna try to videotape it, and wish me luck because I heard it hurts and I don't like things in my nose. And Kate, my boyfriend, has gotten like really stuffy the last couple of days since he got the test, so he's like convinced that it's from that, but I actually sound really stuffy right now, so I'm kind of feeling that, but I also have allergies, so I don't know. Anyways, let's do it. Hi, it's me. Shh. Okay, so this is the line I'm waiting in. I have an appointment for 11 and it's currently 11:24 and I'm still in line. So that's what's happening. It wraps around all the way to here. This is currently the line. I don't even know where it ends, to be honest, but I know I'm in the right line. So I'm a little nervous. I hope it doesn't hurt. I hope it doesn't puncture my brain. And I hope that I don't pee my pants, because I have to pee really bad and I'm in this line.
Hello.
Hi, sorry I was on the other line.
I know, it's okay. Are you working?
I'm just waiting in line for this test.
Are you at UC Health?
Yeah, but I'm in Highlands Ranch. There's one in Stapleton, and it's like, I don't know, not an option or something. I don't know if they like ran out of tests or what, but on Sunday it was an option for Cade, and then like now it's not an option.
Yeah, they only have a limited amount of tests. So
Oh, okay.
every day, yeah.
So
you went down there. So get ready. Everybody tells me it's just really awful.
yeah, Cade's had like a stuffy nose, like, and sinus just like or not inflammation, but just like problems ever since he got the test. So that's my little sticky note that I'm gonna give him, and then they're gonna know who I am and what I've done and all the bad that I've done. Okay, goodbye. Hello.
Alright, now Miranda.
Yes. Oh, I'm nervous.
It's done. This is gonna go in natural for about 10 seconds.
Okay.
Will you just put your head back for me? Okay, grab the side.
Oh, that tickles so bad. Oh my god.
Alright, hun.
Ah,
And you're free to go.
thank you.
No problem. Have a good day, hun.
You too. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. You guys, I'm crying. You can see that. Because, oh my gosh. That tickles so bad. I honestly thought it was gonna be like thick and hurt. But it was more like I instantly wanted to sneeze. I was like, okay, I want to sneeze right now. Yeah, I mean, it's not comfortable, but like, oh my god, holy cannoli. Not comfortable, but it's more of like a tickle or like just a discomfort. And it made me cry and also want to sneeze and laugh, and like it made me feel a lot of emotions, to be honest. So I'm gonna, for those of you who have health insurance, I would speak to your doctor, and they can give you a list of places that your insurance will cover for you to get tested. And if you don't have health insurance like me, you can, if you live in Colorado, you can go to the Pepsi Center and get a test for free, but it takes 10 to 12 days to get, or it was 5 to 7, but now it's like 10 to 12 to get your results back. And if you want to know where I went, because I wanted my results faster, I went to UC Health, and it cost me $85. That was my experience with the test. Now is when things get fun with the symptoms. You can see in the video, I feel fine. I'm acting like, I think I'm like a little bit like sleepy, but I'm feeling okay. Well, I get home, and the whole drive home, I'm like in and out of fever. Like, I'm driving in 95 degree weather with no AC on because I have goosebumps. And then when I get home, I come inside and I start sweating. And it was just the craziest thing ever. So I get home around, I don't know, maybe like a little before 4. And from 4 on, I was just in and out of sleep all day, just sleeping all day, feeling horrible. Then around 10 o'clock, that's when the real fun started. I sprung out of bed at 10 o'clock, sprinted to the bathroom, hardly made it because I was so dizzy from getting up so fast, and spent the next 2 hours in the bathroom. I am not gonna say what happened in there because that's TMI, but you guys probably know what happened in there. So, coronavirus, symptom number 872, digestive issues. Moving on. I didn't sleep really well that night. That's also the night that like my kind of insomnia started, and it was with me for the rest of my experience, my fun experience. So then, all right, so now I'm going to get into just like a list of symptoms, and I'm going to run through it. I'm going to put in the description box below like a full timeline of my symptoms with everything. So if you don't want to hear me talk for the next 20 minutes about my symptoms, just go read that. Day 4, Wednesday, July 8th. I woke up with no doubt that I had coronavirus. Later this day, I was going to get my results back, but I didn't really need them at this point because I was horrible. I had a headache that I cannot even explain. I suffer from migraines. I have since I was a baby, and this was like migraine, but instead of being on like one side like a migraine typically is, and my migraines are like very isolated somewhere, my entire head felt like a migraine. My head felt like it was going to explode. Like if I coughed too hard, that I was seriously nervous and my eyes would pop out of my head. So this day, all my symptoms came. I mean, basically all my symptoms came, okay? So pounding headache when I woke up. My cough was dry and consistent. I was dizzy all the time. My entire body ached. The worst was probably my legs, but my back and my shoulders were still achy. My stomach was very upset. However, I was not having to spend any more time in the bathroom, which is nice. I started to feel very congested here. However, I could still breathe. Like, even now, I feel a little congested, even though I can get air through. And when I blow, it doesn't really feel like a lot comes out, but it's just like, I feel like I'm talking like Squidward or something. Like, I feel congested, like, right here. That was day 4 that started. I was in and out of a fever all day. It was like, fever, take Tylenol, fever, take Tylenol, fever, take Tylenol. And then the same 3 symptoms that we can't forget about were still there. And then at night was when my severe leg aches, I'm talking like restless leg syndrome, for anybody that knows, like on steroids. It was horrible and I could not sleep. So then I couldn't sleep, which is so necessary in recovery. So I started that day, or the next day, I ended up getting Tylenol PM, which helped me sleep, but not well. So that was day 4, the 8th. Day 5, Thursday the 9th. Real quick, I had everything I just said, but I'll go through it again. Leg aches, full body aches, headache. I didn't sleep, ringing in my ears. Oh, I didn't mention yesterday. Wow, I missed one. Okay, well, I'll mention it today. I also had this on Wednesday. Actually, I think this started on Tuesday, the day I went and got tested, and I think I actually say it in the video, but it gets worse as time goes on. It's basically like this pain, like pressure pain behind my eyes. It's like a strain that, like, when I look to the side, anywhere but straight, even if I close my eyes and open them or look up or down or side to side or anywhere, there's like such a strong pain behind my eyes. It is crazy. It feels like someone's like pulling my eyes out. So on Thursday, day 5, I'm also starting to have trouble taking a deep breath. I didn't feel like I was gasping for air. However, when I went to take a deep breath, I had a lot of pain here, and it felt like it just stopped. Like I just couldn't go in. And so it was just like, it would just stop. I don't even know how to explain it. And then I would cough. And so that started to really become a problem because I wasn't sure if I was getting enough oxygen. And so I was really concerned about that all day Thursday. And I had those same 3 symptoms. And then that Thursday, day 5, was also the day that I started to feel very like slowed down, like foggy, couldn't concentrate on a thing. Like I could hardly hold a conversation and remember what I was talking about. Just so incredibly fatigued. There's really no way to describe the fatigue. It was like physically hard to like lift my arm up. Like it literally was it was taking everything for me to get out of bed and go to the couch, and like moving my limbs and texting and even just talking was exhausting. I can't even believe I'm here right now because it felt that symptom stayed with me for so long. It felt like I was going to live with that for the rest of my life. And to be honest with you, right now, I still feel very, very fatigued all the time. But this amount of energy that I'm even able to give to the camera right now is like leaps and strides better than I was less than a week ago. So I'm grateful for that, but I'm talking dead. Let's get into Friday, day 6. My leg aches, my muscle aches, my full body muscle aches, I had escalated to the point where I felt like my body was vibrating, not just in the morning, but anytime I laid down. So basically all day. This is where I started getting really, really, really worried. So I woke up that morning at 10, and around 11, I got back in bed and I fell asleep. Now, out of my sleep, I was woken up with numbness in my left arm. So basically from like my wrist to like my elbow, like my forearm, it felt numb and almost like crampy. I had no watch on, I had no hair tie on, and my hands were just like on my stomach, just kind of how I sleep. And I like freaked out. So I woke up and I told my boyfriend that my arm was a little bit numb, and I had been having severe leg aches. Like, I slept every night in compression pants that I wear after games on like the airplane or on a bus or just after a game in my room. I slept in those every single night. I slept with my legs a bit elevated just to be able to sleep because they were so painful.
It's my last night that I'm gonna wear them. And I'm so happy about it.
Friday, early on, I started getting this numbness in my arm, and I'd already been having almost the same feeling in my legs. So I call a nurse or a teledoctor, and I have a complete breakdown. So like I can't even get like 3 words out before I start crying. So Kate actually ended up having to make the call for me, but I told the doctor that I have a family history of blood clots. However, I have never been tested to have like the gene for blood clots, and my immediate family, like my parents, don't have any problems, but their parents do, or one side of them. And I told her that, and then I also told her that I have asthma and that I've been getting very, very dizzy, and that I've been having lots of leg aches, like painful ones. And she told me that I should get off the phone and go to the emergency room immediately and have somebody else drive me. So I freaked out. I called my dad, and he told me he thought I should go to the emergency room as well. So the reason that I didn't is because I don't have health insurance. So I wasn't prepared to spend a couple of $1,000s at the emergency room if I personally didn't feel it was necessary to go yet. I was feeling dizzy and I was having leg pains, but also those are symptoms of coronavirus. I wasn't gasping for air, and I didn't have any visual signs of a blood clot. So I made the decision to not go, even though my boyfriend told me about 7 times to get in the car and we're going to the emergency room. Anyways, so I'm happy with my decision because I am better, or a little bit better. I'm better. But I'm not saying that I would recommend it. I'm just saying that try to stay calm. And let's get back to the timeline. So on day 6, Friday, I make that phone call, and I basically spend the rest of the day freaking out. For the rest of that day, I had a crazy bad headache, crazy bad leg aches, and body aches. My cough was getting way worse, and it was starting to really hurt my chest when I coughed. It was like very violent, and it would like really hurt right in the middle of my chest. But still, the 2 things that were making me nervous were that I was dizzy and that my leg aches were so bad. Like, I wanted to cut my legs off, seriously. And then the 3 symptoms that we don't forget about were all there, and then I was still just feeling super slow. I am gonna show you some clips here, but like my speech is so slow. Like, I cannot even make a sentence. I'm trying to get some like fresh air because I haven't been out of my room in a while. I haven't been updating nearly as much as I wanted. I wanted to update every day, but I just haven't been feeling up to it, like up to looking at my camera and talking. So it's been 3 days, this is the 4th day since I got tested, but I had symptoms like 3 days before that, so I think I'm on day 6 of symptoms, and basically things are just, I've had every single symptom except for loss of taste, which honestly I wouldn't mind having. Maybe I'd lose some weight because all I do is lay around and eat because I can't really do much more. The most annoying symptoms right now are my leg aches and my arm aches, my head aches, my back aches, the pain behind my eyes, coughing, but I called, oh my god, I hate bees. I called the ICU or the health care people today, like nurse line, and they told me that I should go to the emergency room immediately, and I didn't go because I don't have insurance right now, and I do not know how much that bill is gonna be, but too much. So I didn't go because I think I can monitor myself well enough. They were worried about my dizziness because I've been having dizziness, so maybe my oxygen levels are getting too low, and then blood clots run in my family, and since I'm having such severe like achy legs and stuff and aches in my arms, they're worried that I should go get monitored for blood clots and stuff, which I am quite scared about. I would say that like calling those nurses today and getting their opinion on what I should do did nothing but scare me all day. I've just been stressed all day that I'm gonna die because I have a blood clot and that I'm gonna have permanent damage to my lungs because I have low oxygen levels, and I've literally just been freaking out all day, which is not good either. So, oh, now my head is killing me because I just moved way too fast. There's good moments and there's bad moments, honestly. Like, I usually wake up and then I like cry for a while and have a lot of pain, and then I have another breakdown because I feel sorry for myself, because literally less than 1% of Americans have this, and more Americans have it than like any other country ever. We have like 25% of the cases, but less than 1% of people have it, and I had to be that less than 1%. So I go through a lot of emotions about feeling sorry for myself, and I go about all the right things. I wear a mask, I wash my hands, I don't go out to any events with large groups. I literally, in the last like 3 months, have probably seen like 7 people, period. And like, it's just so frustrating. I go through that where I feel bad for myself, and then I take medicine, and once my head starts to feel better, I start to feel a lot better. And yeah, just try to keep moving a lot so I don't get blood clots. I'm taking vitamin C, vitamin D. I suck on zinc lozenges all day. They don't really know if any of that helps, but I'm willing to try it. I'm not overdoing anything because I also don't want to like overdose on anything. Just trying to eat really healthy and trying to stay positive and get sleep when I can, but I can't sleep really. This just sucks so bad. It's just, I just can't even explain to you how bad it sucks. It's just been, for a week now, life consuming. Can't stay out of bed for that long. You have no sense of focus whatsoever. It's miserable. It's honestly miserable. Can't get anything done. Nothing. Had to tell my work that I couldn't do anything, and I can't even do anything. Like, seriously, like daily, my goal is to like text somebody back. Like, that's how much energy I have. My goal every day is to pick up this camera and make a little update video, and this is the first day I've done it, and I've had this for like a week. So that just goes to show you. So then we have day 7, Saturday the 11th, 7-Eleven. And I couldn't even go get a free Slurpee. Oh my gosh, you guys. Okay. Not cool. Pretty much not cool. By far my worst symptom through this all. I just bit my tongue. By far my worst symptom through this all was the headache. My head hurt so bad. If I could take Tylenol and get rid of my headache, I was like functional. But if my headache was so painful, it hurt to open my eyes. Like, it was horrible. Like, moving my head that fast, like just that much, I would just like, I would get dizzy. It would hurt so bad. Ugh. I started to get like a dry sore throat on day 7, probably from all the coughing. I was still having my leg aches, my back aches, my muscle aches, my cough. My legs started to escalate and they started to go numb really easily. So if I would sit on any chair, on the toilet, if I would cross my leg for 1 second, my entire lower half of my leg and like a little bit up into my thigh would go numb, like completely tingly, and like it was instant. Saturday was also the day that I felt like I could breathe better. I felt like if I took a deep breath, I was getting all of the air. It still made me cough at this point, but I was getting a deeper breath. And then I still had those 3 symptoms that we talked about at the beginning. My headache was less severe. I started to just feel more like chipper, like I could joke around, I could talk, I could be a little bit myself. And at this point, I was still taking Tylenol in the morning and at night and feeling slow and foggy and not really able to concentrate and fatigued. And then I had one new symptom that I noticed on day 8, Sunday. And that was when I laid down sometimes, I found that it felt like my heart beat like stopped and then had to like catch back up. I don't really know how to explain it. I don't know if it's like a murmur or if it was like a palpitation, like heart palpitation or what it was, but I'm feeling a lot more chipper on Sunday, right? Day 8. And I'm like, yes, only a week. We got this. Let's get out of it. Well, then Monday hits, and this is what I hear happens a lot, is that people start to feel a little better and then they get worse. So I didn't take my foot off the gas. I stayed with my routine of hydration and the supplements I was taking and resting and like everything I was doing. I stayed with it and I still felt worse the next day. So I don't know if that's just inevitable, but Monday I felt so tired, literally just couldn't be alive. I couldn't move my body. I couldn't stay awake. I couldn't keep my eyes open. I slept until 10. I got out of bed at noon. And then I was still tired, just slept all day, had a headache, started to feel nauseous throughout the day, never puked, but was just in and out of nausea. My breathing was feeling better. I wasn't coughing as much, which helped my head a lot because the pressure from the cough in my head was unreal. Still had those 3 symptoms and was feeling more fatigued and tired and slowed down than ever.
Hey everybody, just checking in. According to my list, it's day 9 since I started having symptoms. Yesterday, I don't think I did a check-in, and I was feeling really good. And today, I feel really bad. I slept until like 9, and it's 12. And I just barely got out of bed. I have a headache, and I feel tired and just like really crappy. I keep getting like moments of like nauseousness, and then like waves of like heat. I don't really feel like I have a fever, but I just get like really hot, even though it's like 70 degrees in here. And I just feel like really tired and really bummed out because I felt good yesterday. Now I'm back to feeling crappy. My throat doesn't hurt as bad as it did yesterday. My head and my body aches bad. My eye pain is back and it hurts. And I'm still having like spots in my eyes. Yeah. That's pretty much it. So I'm just sitting here trying to get some work done on the computer. But like, I don't know if you can see, I like can't pick my head up even hardly. Like I just have to lean it back. So, this sucks. I'm so over this. Good news is I feel like I can breathe better the last 2 days, so that's really good. But my leg aches and stuff haven't gone away, so I'm just exhausted. It's crazy to feel this exhausted, like I can't even imagine playing 90-minute soccer game right now. It's like such a task just to walk to the bathroom. So it's weird. This is definitely a life-changing thing, and I just hope that I can get back to my normal self after. So that's all. Goodbye.
Day 10, I start to feel a little better. I have a headache when I wake up. I have the 3 symptoms when I wake up. I'm feeling tired, but I'm having better concentration. I do believe I got some work done this day. My legs started to feel substantially better. The coughing seemed to get a bit more violent this day. So I was having a lot of chest pain from the cough, but my head didn't hurt as bad, and I just started to feel overall like a little bit more alive. I was way more congested. This was the first day that I kind of started to notice I didn't taste as well. I never thought, so my boyfriend lost his like taste and smell, but I never felt like mine was completely gone. It was just like muted a little bit. So it was just like covered up. Like I would make a meal and I would, you know, just not really feel like there was a lot of flavor in it, but I could still taste things.
Hello. I'm just popping on here to talk a little bit about my like afternoon tiredness that happened. So basically the last 4 days have been like, well, it's day 11 I think, and the last 4 days have basically been like I don't really sleep very well, so I wake up feeling really crummy, and then as the day goes on I get better and better, and then right around this time, it's like 3, I start to feel really like beat down, like I kind of did too much, even though all I'm doing is really sitting at a computer desk all day. And I just feel like really tired. I start to kind of get a headache, and I just have no energy, like, but my headache is a lot less, and basically my worst symptom is like fatigue right now. So anyways, this is my status. Like basically that's where I spend most of the day, and then I just come right over here to the bed. Oops. And I lay down for a little, and then I kind of get like a second wind. Not till like after dinner though. Please, Lord, let this go away soon. Please, 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 please.
And then there's symptoms. So then day 11, we're getting 2 weeks. We're getting to the second week. I have a headache, but it's not nearly as bad. I'm tired, very tired. That is my main symptom of this week. My 3 symptoms: the eyes, the vibrating body, and the ears. My cough is still there, and my sensitivity and smell are pretty bad. I can't really taste a lot, but I can still kind of taste.
Hey guys, checking in. Wearing the same thing for I think probably like the 5th, 6th day in a row. Just sitting here trying to gather all my thoughts and my symptoms for the video that I'm gonna put together. Yeah. Starting to feel a little bit better today. This morning was rough. But I ate a couple oranges and some eggs, and I'm starting to feel a little better. I still just feel like I have no energy at all, and I'm just like can't keep my head up, and I just have a headache and just feel terrible. If I try to talk for too long, I basically have a coughing attack. But I am starting to feel a little better. Like, I definitely can't go about my normal day, but I'm getting ready to go on a walk. And that's, I mean, I probably walk for like 10 minutes, and then that'll be that. So maybe I'll bring you guys along on the walk. That'll be good. And yeah, so we're hanging in there. This is just hard. Everybody, all my former teammates and all my friends are starting preseason, and I'm over here unable to walk from my bed to the bathroom. So that's what I'm dealing with. But I mean, I'm just doing a lot of research all day, as much as I can, as to like how to help myself recover and potential things that I can do afterwards to make sure that I start to feel better and get breathing back good and don't have long-term damage from this, because that's probably the scariest part of this all. So doing lots of research, hopefully I can share some of it with you guys, and yeah, hopefully we're on the up and up. This is what I do. I sit and I lay, and I sit and I lay, and I sit and I lay. And today I didn't get out of bed till like 11 or 12, and I drink a lot of water. I drink like 3 of these a day, maybe more, filled with lemon, ginger, sometimes cayenne. For right now, I'm gonna get some shoes on and go for a walk, get some fresh air. I feel like I can't tell that I can't breathe until I start talking, and then I realize that, like, just normal talking, like, I have trouble breathing. And the more that I talk, like, the more headache and dizzy I get. So, like, I'm, like, losing air.
Day 12, Thursday the 16th. I have a headache, but it's getting better. At this point, I'm basically just having a headache for the first half of the day, and then right around like 2, I start to feel really good. Like I can get work done around 2, and I feel pretty good all the way until like bedtime. So that's really nice. I also believe that day 13 was the day I stopped taking Tylenol in the day. I do believe I continued to take it at night, but I didn't take anything during the day. I just stayed by the protocol I made for myself, which we'll get into. Day 13, Friday the 17th. I have coughing, not that bad. I get a headache when I cough a lot, but I don't get a headache unless I cough. And I have the same 3 symptoms. So I am on the come up at this point. This is 2 weeks, day 14, since I got symptoms, okay? Saturday the 18th, day 14. I'm feeling much better. I have a small headache. I get a bit of leg ache still. I get spots in my eyes and clogged ears. Day 15, Sunday the 19th. I regress a bit. I have a pretty bad headache all day, but I'm feeling much more like myself. I'm joking around, I'm talking, I'm like up and moving around. I still have the vibrating body when I wake up. I still have the spots in my eyes and the clogged ears. And then I started to also have another digestive symptom that was the opposite of the first symptom. I'll leave that up to your imagination, okay? I'll just leave it. This symptom, this digestive symptom, continued until yesterday. So about a week, okay? That's the last time I'll talk about that. Okay, day 16, Monday the 20th. I wrote, this is my diary, by the way, my journal. I'm feeling much better. Headache for second half of the day, not sure why. Black fuzzy spots in eyes and clogged ears. Apparently I'm not having a vibrating body that day. That's good. Day 17, Tuesday the 21st. Feeling really good. I was able to work out a little bit. Still having spots in my eyes, still have clogged ears. Wednesday, July 22nd, day 18. Really tired, very fatigued. Body aches, vibrating body when I woke up, black fuzzy spots in eyes, and clogged ears. So just to be clear, I went 2 or 3 days feeling much, much, much better like myself, and then I regressed again. Very tired, very fatigued. So just when you think you're better, you're worse. Day 19, guys, day 19. Thursday the 23rd. Feeling pretty good. Still a small headache, still spots in my eyes, still clogged ears, very rare cough, still vibrating body when I wake up. Day 20, Friday the 24th. Feeling almost 100%. This was 2 days ago. Feeling almost 100%. Still wake up with a headache and feel tired all day. When I go long periods of time while wearing the mask, I start to cough a little. Day 21, Saturday the 25th, yesterday. Feeling good. Like I should. Okay. Oh my gosh. I wrote feeling good, and then later that day I wrote worst headache I've had since starting this morning. Not sure why. I don't know why. Just didn't feel good. That's sad. It went away though. I was able to have a pretty much normal day yesterday. I worked out. Girl, I worked out. Can you tell? No, you cannot. Okay. I lost all my muscle with coronavirus. So, welcome to the new and improved No Muscle Denali. We'll get back. Don't worry. Stay on this channel. We'll get back together. Okay. Sunday the 26th, this is day 22. 22. Huh? Is that 3 weeks? I thought even 3 weeks. So far I wrote going back to work tomorrow. Exactly 3 weeks since first symptom. And then I also need to tell you that we called UC Health and Kaiser, and they told us to not get retested before going back to work. Just wait 3 to 4 days since your last symptom, and then you can return to work. The reason they don't want people getting retested is because there is a chance that they can still have some of the little virus running around, and so they can test positive even though they are not contagious. And secondly, because there is a scarcity of tests and testers right now because of the increase in cases. So we are not going to get retested, and I am going back to work tomorrow. Can't wait. Hello, just checking in. It's 2:40. I usually leave work at like 4, but I ran out of water, and I work in a trailer, so I needed to go get some water. So this is me getting some water from 7-Eleven. I don't know if you can see that, but currently, and I'm exhausted. I did so much work today because I obviously had a bunch of work built up from when I was gone, and my mind feels like mush. Anyways, gonna go home and edit this whole video, so wish me luck. Okay, so here we are. Okay, we just took a long journey through all my symptoms. I will leave a list of them below because that was long, and I'm sorry, but it's 3 weeks wrapped up into 30 minutes. So now I'm going to tell you what I did to mitigate my symptoms and avoid going to the hospital, because as I mentioned before, I do not have health insurance right now because I just started a new job. And so I was avoiding the hospital at all costs. So I was doing everything and then some to stay as healthy as possible. I took Tylenol when I had a headache or a fever. I took Tylenol PM at night to help my leg aches and to sleep. I took vitamin C and vitamin D in very normal doses. Nothing extreme, just at the recommended daily value in supplements. I took a turmeric pill every morning because I always do that, so I continued to do that. The reason I did that is because turmeric is one of the plants or supplements that act as a natural blood thinner. So I don't have a prescription for blood thinners, and I don't want one. But because of my family history with blood clots, I was very nervous about blood clots because people who are in hospital beds are getting a lot of blood clots, and they're finding lots of little blood clots. Like, that's like those COVID toes that you've been seeing online or whatever are little blood clots. And with a lot of people that have passed away, when they do the biopsy, they find little blood clots all over their body. So I was very, very worried about that, as I should have been, and we all should be. And so because I couldn't go outside and walk around, I would just get up and walk around my tiny apartment and just walk and walk and walk and walk as much as I could, even though everything in me wanted to just lay in bed and lay on the couch and sleep. But people who are hospitalized and stuck in a hospital bed are the ones that are getting blood clots because they aren't moving. Because when you move, it helps avoid clotting. So I was like on a timer. Every 20 minutes I was walking, like no matter what. And it was hard and miserable, and I did it anyway. I also took the turmeric, like I mentioned, and I will also provide a list of other foods that help as natural blood thinners. Turmeric, ginger, cayenne pepper, cinnamon, vitamin E, garlic, omega-3 fatty acids, and red wine. Okay? So I took vitamin D, turmeric. I put turmeric, ginger, and lemon in my water every morning, and that's what I drink all day. I currently am drinking it like right now. Okay, this is like so dangerous because this is right over my computer. But I think you can see. Yeah, you can see. So, okay, so that is ginger in there. And there's lemon. That was a lemon seed. Once I got very congested, my dad brought me this over, which is a Vicks humidifier thing. It basically puffs out hot steam, and I put, Vicks Vapor Rub. It came with like a menthol type smell, but you can also put like peppermint. You can just put peppermint in a pot with water and steam it and hold a towel over your face and just breathe in peppermint steam to help clear up your congestion. So I highly recommend that, and I did that every day for like the worst of it, when it was the worst. And then once my throat started to get really dry and sore, I got these zinc lozenges, and I sucked on those basically all day. So this is what I did. I rested, I hydrated like crazy. I probably drank more than 3 of those a day. I drank water all day. I went to the bathroom and peed all day. That's what I found to be most helpful. There were days where I didn't drink as much because I was not feeling really good and it was hard for me to drink water. And those days and then the next day were when I felt the worst. So I would highly recommend staying very hydrated. Eat very healthy. Avoid sugar. If I ate sugar, maybe at nighttime or something, instantly I felt like my symptoms were worse. Like instantly. If I stay, and I every single day I ate like a handful of strawberries and an orange, just because maybe vitamin C helps. And then I just ate healthy. Just avoid processed foods, and that's basically it. Tried to eat fresh, ordered from King Soopers, Instacart, and they delivered all our groceries. So here's a list of things really quick that I did during my 2 weeks of quarantine, 3 now, to not go insane while I was quarantining with 2 other people in a tiny 2-bedroom apartment. Okay? I started a YouTube channel. I learned kind of how to edit videos. I worked from home. I cleaned my room. I avoided the news at any and all costs. The only information I got about coronavirus was from real life people on YouTube like me, or from studies, like science-backed studies. And I read a lot of them. And they made me a little bit crazy, so I don't know if I'd recommend that, but that's what I did. I called doctors also if I had questions about me personally, and I don't I mean, I would recommend that because that's who you should consult if you don't feel well. However, the times that I called a doctor, they did nothing but scare me. That's where I'm going to leave that. I did some spring cleaning. Once I started to feel a little bit better, I read. I started to edit my highlight film. I did basically anything and everything that I've been putting off. But I will say, I wasn't very productive because when you feel like crap 24/7, it's really, really hard to be productive. So don't get frustrated with yourself if you have a big list of things that you want to do for the day and you aren't able to get really any of it done. My tip for that would be make your list simple. An example of a good list would be make breakfast, take a shower, read a chapter, make a couple phone calls, take a nap, eat well, try to drink a certain amount of water, things like that. And then check those off as literal accomplishments for the day, because those are accomplishments when you're in the thick of it. Like, those are accomplishments. Getting out of bed is a major accomplishment. So that's my piece of advice for that. And then once I started feeling better, I want to say on day like 14 or 12, we called the doctor and asked her if we were allowed to go on walks. And she said yes, that you were allowed to go on walks since even day 1. So if you're feeling well enough, I would recommend putting a mask on and going on a walk outside and try to avoid any people. If you see any people, just like change sidewalks or walk around or do whatever. But if you can go on walks, because staying inside all the time makes you insane. I'm insane. I lost my mind.
Is that the Rona?
I got the Rona. Rona. We rockin' Ronas. Ronas. We rockin' Rona.
These are just some other tips that I have from my experience. Take them understanding that I'm not a healthcare professional and I'm just nobody. I'm a nobody, and this is just some advice I have. So, don't lay down too much. If the virus is in you, it can get in your lungs, and it's more susceptible to get in your lungs if you lay down a lot, okay? Also, another reason not to lay down is because blood clots happen when you are sedentary. Get up, walk around as much as you can. I know it's hard, but you can do it. My second tip, or my third tip, I don't know, my fifth tip, is it's okay to let yourself rest. If you are trying to work from home and you start to feel really crappy, rest, shut it down. Take a nap, chill out. You're not going to be in this forever, so I understand it's really hard to justify like laying around for 2 weeks, but if you don't just lay around for 2 weeks and feel better, you're going to be laying around for much longer than 2 weeks. So just listen to your body, and if you're really exhausted, then rest. Go on walks, like I said, when you can. Call your friends if you have them. It's really easy to just disappear. I think that everybody that I know that might be watching this and knows me knows that I basically just disappeared for 2 weeks, kind of 3. So try not to, because it is really good to have their support. Like my parents calling me and telling me that they're thinking of me and that they're worried about me and that they love me and all this good stuff, like really actually helped. So let your friends know you're sick. Talk to them as much as you can. It's good to have people that care for you. It's really important to feel like you're not in it alone. I would like to interrupt this program for a public service announcement on my thoughts and opinions on the coronavirus, COVID-19. And I'm gonna read from a script that I've written. Okay. People aren't asking that much of us. They're asking you to stay home, wash your hands, wear a mask. If you feel symptoms at all, get tested, or simply stay at home. This is quite simple. Every other country has listened to their government. Granted, I will say their government has laid out more clear guidelines for them. But other countries, not every other country, other countries who listen to their government and the rules and regulations are now operating at almost normalcy. They are going about their daily lives. Everything is open. There are rules about masks and distancing, but that is it. On the other hand, Americans are now entering another lockdown in some states, and rules and regulations are now stricter, not less strict. So I just want to say that if you are not wearing a mask or are not social distancing, you are being selfish and you are the problem. I have a little bit of... I'm off script. I have a little bit of anger built up in me because I listened to the rules and I went to work and to home and to work and to home and to work and to home. And I got infected by a group of people that were not listening to the rules and the guidelines. And that's what happens. Maybe it doesn't affect you directly, but it does affect others. So think about others and do very simple things like wear a mask, social distance. Don't go to that one party. Don't go to that one dinner. Cook at home. If you want to go on a vacation or you want to do something with a bunch of people, go get tested. Make sure everyone in your group doesn't have coronavirus. It's actually quite simple, and it's infuriating to know how careless some people are being and how not serious this is being taken by most people. I am so sick of hearing people complain about others or talk about how simple it is to wear a mask and how everybody who's not wearing a mask is so blah, 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 blah. And then the next week, I swear, I'll see that same person in Mexico on vacation, not wearing a mask or something like that. And it literally, I'm like, have to be off social media because it drives me insane because it's so hypocritical. I almost forgot that word. It's so hypocritical. And so the fact of the matter is that you are being selfish if you're living completely normal and don't feel much of an impact from this pandemic. Okay? This is a huge deal. If you're living the way you're supposed to at the moment, you should feel change. You should feel that you're missing out on some things that you had planned. You should feel like you miss your friends because you haven't seen them in a while. You should feel like you're going crazy because you're in your house a lot. And you should feel like you look really silly wearing a mask because you do. But the truth is that this is temporary. And all of those things are temporary. And they will go back to normal if we accept all of those as normal at the moment. We have to accept staying home, wearing masks, social distancing, blah, 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 as the norm right now in this moment. And maybe in 3 months, 6 months, 10 months, who knows, we can go back to normal or we can go back to better than we were before. But at the moment, things aren't great for everybody. And if they're great for you, you're doing something wrong probably. And it's okay to deal with it for a while because we aren't even being asked to go fight in a war like our grandparents were. We aren't being asked to go put our lives on the line to protect our country. We're being asked to stay at home and sit on our butts. Like, we're being asked to wear a mask and we're creating a big scene about it. And it's blowing my mind. I just want to end this little piece of my mind by saying that I know it's hard for some people to social distance, or for some it may just be very inconvenient. But I want you to understand that every time that you say no to a dinner or a party or a vacation or anything like that, you are literally saving lives. You are. And I know that sounds cheesy, but it's so true, because I cannot imagine how hard this would hit somebody with underlying health issues. I am 27, I'm young. I'm an athlete. I'm healthy. I have no underlying health issues. And knowing how hard this hit me makes me actually terrified for people who have health problems. So I understand that one person is not the problem, and also that one person is not going to solve this pandemic, but for anybody that watches this video and however many people this video reaches, I just want you to know that every little bit that you do helps. Every little decision that you make helps, and it can help save lives, or it could do the opposite. So I also just want to reiterate that if you feel anything at all that I mentioned before in the video, or anything at all out of the norm, please get tested. And if you cannot get tested, please just stay at home for a few days and assess the way you're feeling, and maybe let your most contagious stage pass while in isolation. I just wanted to extend a thank you to everyone that has been following all the guidelines from the beginning, or at any point, that has been social distancing, wearing a mask, and caring about others' lives. Just a big thank you to you guys, and I think it's very important that we acknowledge you, because it's important to do those small things and help save lives. So thank you. Before I end this video, this long video, I want to talk really briefly about what we are calling long haulers. These are people who have symptoms long beyond when they are assumed to have the virus inside of them and be contagious. I just want to bring some attention to this topic, because it is really, really easy to get information on cases, on death rates, on statistics like who's been in the hospital, different statistics in different states, different countries, and all that kind of stuff, but it's really hard to find any studies or any statistics or any information on long haulers. There's a good article from King's College London. They did a study on how common it is to be considered a long hauler with COVID cases, and long-term symptoms affect 1 in 10 people that have the virus, which is very, very concerning and very, very probable. So this is something that is not super rare and needs to be studied and talked about more, because some people are having symptoms for a very prolonged amount of time, and they're very worried about it, and I understand that. At this point, everyone doesn't know if these symptoms are continued symptoms from the virus, or if they're post-viral symptoms, or if they're like an inflammatory reaction to what the virus did to your body. So at this moment, they don't really know what is causing these long-term effects, but the first SARS virus that went around years ago was reported to affect 40% of survivors 3 years later. So 3 years post-virus, they were still 40% of the people that contracted the SARS virus showed post-viral symptoms. I'm hoping that doesn't affect me in that way, but I think it's important to know that this could cause long-term effects on even the mildest of cases. It can cause internal organ damage to the lungs, heart, liver, kidneys that we could not even see immediately, and we could see down the road. Severe lack of research that has gone into these cases is scary because I don't think that people are informed of just how serious this could be for the healthiest of people, okay? And that is really something to be worried about, because the more mild, healthier people, mild cases, are experiencing long-term health effects. Finally, the last thing I want to talk about is the neurological symptoms of this virus and how underreported they are in the media and how under-talked about they are. So basically, there are severe neurological symptoms or effects that this virus is having on people, and it ranges from insomnia to depression and anything in between. So if you're experiencing anything like that, I would recommend seeking therapy, or at least just talking to somebody about it, because even just the state that our world is in with the pandemic and everything going on, there's a lot of uncertainty, anxiousness, people are scared, there's depression going on, and the stress and the anxiety that you can get from having this virus is unexplainable. I'm not an anxious person, I'm not a nervous person. I typically stay really, really cool, calm, collected, and this thing had me panicking at moments. I highly recommend seeking therapy. There's lots of apps where you can text therapists and that kind of thing. Just try not to keep things in. Try to talk about them. Try to get them out. Whatever you're feeling, talk to somebody about it. Because the neurological side of this is serious. One last thing that I forgot to mention, but I would like to mention, is that this virus seems to manifest itself in the part of your body that might already have underlying issues. So for me, I get migraines often, and my worst symptom was easily my headache. If you have coronavirus, I strongly recommend that you tell your doctor all of your underlying issues, even if they might suggest going to the emergency room because of them. This is the last thing, and I promise it's the last thing. Okay. The American College of Cardiology put out a guideline for getting back into exercise after coronavirus. So I will link that down below, but I'll also just explain really quick. So basically, they say that if you're symptom-free, that you should wait 10 days until you exercise. If you tested positive, but you have like really, really minor symptoms, that you should wait a minimum of 2 weeks before working back into exercise, which means very slow progression into exercise. If you had a more severe case, then you should wait 2 weeks after you have no symptoms to work back into exercise. And if you were hospitalized, then you should wait, and I can't quote this because the website is performing a bit of maintenance at the moment, but I believe, and I'll link it below, that if you're in the hospital, that you should wait 2 to 3 months after your last symptom to start working back into exercise. The reason for this is because when you have the viral infection, your heart is inflamed, and when your heart is inflamed, it is more prone to arrhythmias. Basically, your heart is susceptible to arrhythmias after you fight off a virus. So if you do go back to exercise, ease into it. I am currently on day 4 of exercising, and I eased into it with walking a lot, jogging really slow, lifting weights really light, body weight stuff, and now today I lifted weights. So I am going easy into it, and I feel really good, and I still feel fine, minus this cough and sore throat because I've been talking for 2 hours. Okay, that's it. I'm done. Don't talk to me anymore. Thank you for listening, and if you are still with me, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified every time I post new videos. I am going to do a follow-up Q&A about coronavirus probably in a week or 2, and post coronavirus update and how I'm feeling in 2 weeks. So if you have any questions for me or any stories about coronavirus yourself that you would like to share, feel free to comment below and I will try to respond to all of them. I will leave a timeline of my symptoms below, and be careful, be cautious, stay safe, and I love you guys. Bye. Hi. What's this shit? I'm sorry, I didn't sign a waiver.
This is long.
It's so long. What's happening? Look at it. What is happening?